peoples. Welcome to Box Center, the show. Yo, man, listen, I had a copyright strike, meaning I couldn't go live for a whole week. Why? Because last week I went through a situation when I was broadcasting, and boom, they hit me. But that week is over. We back on live. Remember, my peoples, Mondays through Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Box Center of the show is going to be on fire. Yo, man, listen. This weekend was interesting. Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois. Whoa. Daniel Dubois shocked the world. The unexpected. Pretty much everyone I spoke to was telling me that AJ was going to get him out of there. I myself thought AJ was going to get him out of there. And you see how it played out. The thing with Daniel Dubois, man, the thing about AJ is that he seems to not be able to have that consistency. Like in his last fight, you saw the footwork, you saw the combinations, you saw him working behind the jab, you saw so many tools and resources that it led you to believe, yo, he got momentum in his favor and Dubois is going to have some problems. Well, for this fight, we saw the same AJ that we saw versus Usyk, the same AJ that we saw when he fought Andy Ruiz the first time. So for whatever reason, I don't know if there's a psychological component to this, but for whatever reason, AJ doesn't have that same energy in every fight, that same consistency. And this could have been, a closer fight, a much more competitive fight than what it was. But I don't know. I don't know if AJ, from being dropped in the first round, he was maybe hesitant to let his hands go like that. He got dropped multiple times. I think 3 or 4 times he hit the canvas. So there you have it, my peoples. Daniel Dubois put the beating on AJ. He retains his title, and he says he wants Usyk next. Let's see how that's going to play out. So you already know, my peoples. You already knows. Boxing, your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. See y'all on Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Hey, yo, my peoples, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. I know YouTube kicked me out for a whole week over that little strike, which, by the way, that strike was not fair. I wasn't actually, showing the fight. I was showing myself just like this, but it seems like my microphone picked up some of the audio from the TV, which is something you couldn't even make up. You couldn't even see what they was talking about. But YouTube said, nope, you're trying to catch the audio from the TV to broadcast it to the audience. Boom, they gave me that strike. So a whole week I could not go live. However, you can see that I posted a lot of videos. You see some shorts, some videos. Amateur boxing. I was at an amateur boxing tournament last week, so there's some videos from that tournament. Awesome. I'm actually at the neutral corner, so you want to check that out. But again, my peoples, Box Center, the show is back on live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Mondays through Fridays. Tomorrow, we definitely going to be talking about AJ versus Dubois. We're going to be breaking that fight down. If you saw it, then you know, man, Dubois got hands for days, and he let them fly. And AJ, he was real hesitant. He did a few things here and there, but for the most part, he looked like he just did not want to interact. He didn't want to let his hands go. He didn't want to trade. And he ended up paying for it. There you have it, my peoples. Y'all already know, man. Catch me tomorrow and check them videos out. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Yo, JSmiff, my peoples. I have not been on live for a whole week because, that little strike and whatnot. But we back on. We back on, my peoples. I'm trying to tell you, yo, y'all got to stop being cheap with that like button, man. Hit that like button, man. Why y'all got to be cheap like that with me? And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, my people. But like I told y'all, Anthony Joshua, the way that he lost, it's not looking good for him. Like he got beat up pretty bad. And when you lose that way, you wonder what's gonna happen, what's next for him. He's not because he lost. I'm not one of these new era fans where somebody loses and you say he got exposed, he's a bum, he's a hype job. None of that stuff, man. AJ, he's a legitimate, world championship caliber fighter. It's just that for whatever reason, he hasn't been able to have that consistency. The AJ that we saw yesterday is not the same AJ that we saw in his last fight. But for whatever reason, I don't know, like I said before, if there's a physical component to this situation or a psychological situation that he's dealing with. All I know is that the AJ that we saw yesterday is the same one that we saw versus Andy Ruiz, the same one that we saw versus Usyk, who's not letting his hands go, who looks like he's walking on mud. And, Dubois capitalized. Ey, el negro, primero en dar like. Muchas gracias, negro, se aprecia. The first like. Man, I've been on here for 6 minutes giving y'all the real deal Holyfield. I got 1 like. Yo, y'all be cheap with me, man. Y'all be killing me. Pero I'ma still give it to y'all. I'ma still give y'all this boxing content. But like I told you, my peoples, AJ, he just wasn't the same guy that we're used to seeing when he's winning, when he's on top of his game. Dubois, Dubois came out on fire from the first round. Came out swinging, letting them hands fly. You saw the fireworks. You could see that Dubois had the bad intentions behind them punches. Ay, 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 el primero en suscribirse también. ¡Boom! Ya lo sabe, hermano mío, se aprecia mucho eso. De lunes a viernes a las 9 p.m. todos los días vamos a estar aquí activos hablando boxeo. Y'all already know, my peoples. From 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Mondays through Fridays. Catch JSmiff. Box Center, the show is going to be on fire. And we're not going to be catching no more YouTube strikes, by the way. No more YouTube strikes. That's it. Hermano mío, Alexis Isai. ¿Qué es lo que es, hermanito mío? Estamos activos aquí hablando boxeo. Usted sabe qué es lo que es. So, yeah, man, look, overall, it was a good weekend of boxing. It's not exactly what we expected. We was already talking about AJ. Who is he going to fight next? Is he going to fight Usyk next? Is he going to fight? We was already looking past Dubois. And look what happened. Look what we disrespected Dubois. Matter of fact, that's the only way I could really put it. What's good, William Allen? Yeah, man, YouTube got me, man. They got me. They gave me a strike for last week's broadcast. Yo, man, Joshua, man, took a beating, man. He took a nasty beating, got dropped multiple times. And when that happens, you got to wonder, is it over for AJ? Now, I'm not ready to say that it's over for him because I already seen him bounce back. But it's fair to ask the question, is it over? Is it over? Because AJ, he got beat up pretty bad in this fight. And, when you take an ass whooping like that, it's hard to bounce back. And AJ's already, he's not, a guy in his 20s. He's in his mid-30s, has taken a few losses, been stopped, and this was a nasty loss. So I guess we got to see how AJ's going to be able to bounce back from this loss. I would never count him out just because he does have the heart of a champion. And, I got mad respect for AJ, man, because he's that guy that has fought everybody. He hasn't been able to fight Wilder. We know that that's been, politics behind that. But AJ's for everybody, man. He's shown that he's willing to fight everybody. So he's a throwback fighter that you just have to respect him. I mean, I agree. At 34 years old, he's not going to get any better. But he can perform better than he did yesterday. That's the thing about AJ, and I've been saying that inconsistency. One fight, you see him using the footwork, keeping that stick out there, working behind the jab, letting his hands go on the inside, the combinations, the crazy right hand followed by the left hook. He does so much when he's on his game. But then, he performs like the way that he did yesterday, where, he's looking like he's walking on quicksand. He's not letting his hands go. He looked like a robot yesterday. Yesterday, he looked the same way he looked versus Andy Ruiz the first time, or versus Usyk, where he's like almost confused out there. Like he doesn't know what to do really. And I don't understand why that happens. Like I said before, is it a physical component? Was AJ hurt in any way and they did not disclose it? Is there injury? Or is it a psychological component where, he got dropped in the first round and he just couldn't focus on doing what he was supposed to do just because he was trying to stay away from getting dropped again? Which, of course, he ended up getting dropped 3 or 4 times throughout the fight. So I'm not ready to count AJ out, but I have to see what's gonna happen next with him. I think he's close to the end of his career, and maybe he'll be looking for like another big win before he goes out. Let's see, because this could be dangerous. Guys looking for that last big win, sometimes they end up getting knocked out 2 or 3 more times before they say, yeah, I gotta hang it up. So let's just see how it's gonna play out, man. I see, he looked like matter of fact, not just lack motivation. He looked like he didn't want to be there. Like he just didn't even want to be there at times. But there you go, my peoples. That's my take. Shout out to William Allen, brother. I appreciate you joining me. I'm going to drop off now, but you already know what it is. We back on live, box end of the show, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, my peoples. Catch you on Monday, my brother. Y'all already know what it is. Peace.